as I said, the I think I said it. The book that I wrote is mainly on self knowledge. So
Yeah.
that's my starting point every time,
Right.
So I'd like to have your impression of how directly magic can be a way of knowing oneself, and I mean directly, not just because anything, like can be used to know oneself,
Yeah.
but specifically magic.
So I've got opinions on this. Then they're somewhat controversial, and people who are more versed in what we like to call like contemporary, what passes itself off as contemporary occult ideas, um, think that this idea is complete bullshit. But I in my life I've seen it to be true. Um, for a lot of people when they first come into looking at magic and the occult, they don't know the difference between the two of them. They think that they're the same thing for the most part, but they share attributes. So sorry if I'm repeating myself, but they think that the point of magic, a lot of times people will think that the point of magic is to get to know yourself better, to get to get to that point of self-actualization and knowledge, and or to meet this spirit called the holy guardian angel that will show you everything. It'll be like this guide for you, for everything. And it was really big in Thelema, which is this magical belief system and philosophy developed by Aleister Crowley, who's kind of like the big occult figure over the last 150 years. I think for myself, again, the people that I'm talking to are mainly beginners. I say, just do the magic and just and tinker around, because you will eventually learn more about yourself that way than if you have that as the sole ambition of what you were doing. I think that most of my growth as far as magically came out of experimentation with certain kinds of magic and experimentation with like things that seemed kind of like scary, like things like evoking what would be called by anybody else demons, right? Like, what do demons have to show me about self-actualization? Well, to begin with, nothing. But through going through that process, and it is a whole process. It's not just like a phone book where I like, oh, here we go, dialing this up. It's a whole process that you have to get through. And there was mistakes, and there was things that were weird, and there was things that were funny and scary. And so I think that showed me more about myself than having that sole ambition of trying to do a magical operation to get to know myself a little bit more. And so for people starting out, I think that there's this urge to want to get to know you, because a lot of people come to magic because they feel out of place within this world, right? We feel that the systems that we have surrounded ourselves at best are hypocritical and crumbling. And so we look to errant forms of understanding and being and sitting with the world. And a lot of people discover magic in the occult. And so, but they take with them this old idea of almost like a supermarket for spirit, for thought and imagination ecosystems, with this idea that magic solely exists to show you more about yourself. And so do spells that show you more about yourself. And so I get away from that. I say I've learned way more about myself by just doing strange things. and eventually that kind of gets you to where you need to be. Now that is very different. That is very personalized. But I also been surrounded. I've been doing magic for 20 years. I've been around people who have tried with doing the self-actualization and the conversation with the holy guardian angel, and some of them do eventually get there, and they say they do. But most people, I think, when they have that as the sole ambition, it's just magic kind of dwindles away, and then they just go back to being who they were before, and it's just yay materialism, and magic has always been bullshit. So I think that by setting the goal for magic within your life to really just be about enchanting your life, and that fun thing that people come to my show for, that's really where it is, right? So I
Mhm.
guess in short, in sum, um, it's always about the journey. It's always about the journey. It's never about the destination. And you'll learn way more about yourself just actually doing things than you do at actually arriving at something that you want to have. Now, that's not to say don't have self-actualization or learning more about yourself as in a goal or an ambition. Certainly do. Try
Mhm.
to not be a nihilist. Try not to be an asshole. Be kind, be good, but just do fun. Just do shit to hopefully
Yeah.
have weird shit happen, and you will learn so much about yourself.